G'day everybody, Wong here. Today's video is going to be the full review on the RPK-16. Right now I'm sitting at around 700 kills with it, which is pretty good. You know, nearly got the 1,000 that I'm definitely going to be getting after I finish recording this. But anyways, what we're going to cover in this video is the stats of the RPK. I'm going to then compare the RPK to guns that already exist in the game to give everyone a good idea of like how this gun will handle. And then I'm also going to show the builds that I use on the RPK. And just a bit of a spoiler alert for the video, this gun is really fun. And I think that a lot of players who are newer, especially in the free weekend, are going to be dying to this gun a lot. Because, you know, new gun, everyone's going to be using it, and it's not very hard to use. So I think that it's going to feel like, oh, what the heck, and you're going to be dying to a lot, but the stats do not indicate really anywhere that the gun is OP, in my opinion. So yeah, anyways, let's move right on to the stats anyways. Alrighty, so here are the stats for the RPK. We have a damage of 32, which is pretty good, and a fire rate of 680, which is also pretty good. Both of those are actually incredibly similar to the AK-74. This gives us a very consistent bullets to kill, as you can see in the chart down below. It's 4 shots against none, light, and normal armor, which is really fantastic in my opinion. That just creates an incredibly consistent feel. And the time to kill of 264 isn't like lightning quick or anything, but it's not too crap, especially considering 32 damage means that your time to kill will get really fast if you hit a headshot, even against a helmet. We might be thinking, alright, where do the downsides lie? First of all, let's take a look at the recoil. Generally, an alright DPS means that you can have a bit of recoil, but this isn't the case. It's actually the exact same, or not the exact same, but it's very similar to the AK-74. I think the horizontal recoil is slightly worse on this, if I remember correctly. It could be slightly better, I might be remembering wrong, but I know it's the vertical recoil of 1.4 is the same as the AK-74. And that gun is known for having very consistent DPS at range and very low recoil. So we've got a gun that has the same recoil, same damage, and roughly the same fire rate as the AK-74. Where is it going to be different? Well, honestly, the big thing really that isn't shown in any of these stats here is that it actually starts with a magazine of 45 rounds, which is really good, which in my honest opinion, I explained this in my live commentary in my first impressions, but I consider a high magazine count really good for long range gunfighting because 15 extra rounds in the mag, that's 15 more rounds I can miss really. You know, not that you're trying to miss, but at long range, generally your accuracy will get lower. So this gun will feel even more consistent than the AK at range, which is just insane. A gun that was already very consistent at range is now going to be more consistent, which is so good. The aim down time of 0.24, if I remember correctly, should be the same as the AK, and the running speed of 0.98, which is still really good. That's pretty much base, which is just fantastic. Means that we have a gun that doesn't really have any huge downsides. The only downside is that the time to kill isn't amazing if you don't hit a headshot. It's not terrible, but it's just not incredibly fast. But for the ranges you can push with this gun, it's really good. Now, another thing is, as we can see, it starts dropping its damage at all the way at 100 meters, which is really good, meaning you're getting full damage and full time to kill at 100 meters, which is just awesome. So yeah, there are no downsides really. If you look at this gun, there's just nothing. The reload time of 4 seconds isn't too bad when you consider the fast reloads alright. This gun honestly just feels like, not that I think they should nerf it, but it just feels like a better AK-74. It feels like an AK-74, but you have a bigger mag, but you reload slower, which in my opinion is really good for the support class. It makes this, it's a less run and gunny AK-74, but a more consistent at range AK-74. I normally do a section where I compare it to other guns, like I said in the intro that I was going to do that, but I've just decided now in post that this is good enough. It's very similar to the AK-74. If you like range a little bit more, maybe try the RPK instead. But if you like up close gun and run and gun a little bit more, but you still want to pack a punch at range just in case you need to, the AK-74 is good at that. It's good up close. Not that the RPK can't be any good up close, of course, but you need to hit your headshots. So anyways, I'm going to move on to the 2 builds that I use most often, and yeah, that'll be the video. Alrighty, first things first, I'm going to show a build that's kind of, when I first made the build like this, was kind of me hedging my bets a little bit, going, I don't really know what to do on the gun, let me just take some basic stuff. But after I used it, I got like a really nice 100+ kill game with it, and I really enjoyed it, and it felt very, very good to use, so I thought I got to put it in the video. And that is the SE5 grip and the heavy barrel, and also a long range scope. I do a 2x, I don't do anything more, it's just a little too much for me, so I used a slip 2x. So the reason I used the SE5 and the heavy barrel is because they're both attachments that, first of all, lower your recoil in both departments, which is just good for your range, but also their downsides come in the form of aim down sights time, draw speed, and reload time, which for a long range build, those things do not matter very much. So this was me doubling down on the range and going, I don't really want any huge downsides, just downsides on the peripheral stuff, which for a support gun, if you're used to the L86 or the MG36, this will make this gun feel a little bit more like those, a little more slow, a little more clunky, but you do get that really consistent kills at range, which, you know, in my gameplay, I could use that quite a lot. I did it in a frontline match, I used this and it went alright, but more in an invasion/conquest matches, this went really, really well, just due to those long range engagements. But the other build I would recommend that I also used was this one, which is the ERK grip, also a slip 2x. I switched to the red dot a lot with this, but the slip is definitely doable. And then I actually ran the basic barrel. Now the new basic barrel, pretty much I don't remember the downsides off the top of my head, but I know it's nothing too crazy. Maybe a little more muzzle flash, perhaps, but it also makes your first shot kick a little better. You might be thinking, oh, well, Wong, in the stats section, you didn't even mention the first shot kick, so why would I want to lower it? And that's because the ERK grip, the one that makes your reload a lot faster, actually, that gives you a little more first shot kick, which for me, I'm really bad with first shot kick, so I use the basic to level out the ERK grip. I don't think the reload on this is terrible, but the ERK grip definitely made me feel like way better. So if you were like me, where, you know, this new gun comes out, I generally will use it no matter what map I'm playing, even if I think it's going to be bad on that map. Let's say, you know, think maps like Frugus or Salhan or Namak and things. This is the build you're going to be running. If you really want to force yourself to use this gun on a close range map, this is what you'd run. Not that I recommend this gun on close range maps really, period. Not that it's terrible. Once again, it has no downsides. It's just, it really shines in long range. Like, really, really shines. It's super duper consistent gun. I didn't compare it to this earlier, but it's almost like if you have used the AK-15 before, you get, in my opinion, you get really surprised at how much range it has. Like the AK-15's range is very surprising. This gun surprised me like that. It feels heavy because of the noise, you know. Not that the stats indicate it, but it feels like a heavy gun, but you still have really consistent range. Yeah, anyways, that's really all I could say for the builds, and the playstyle notes are just, honestly, go for flanks, because huge mag size is really good on a flank, and just keep those range engagements going. If you're on frontline or something, always be the guy who's going on the flank with this gun. Try not to go head-on gunfights. The time to kill isn't fast enough to compete with other guns head-on, but that's still, I know it sounds like a huge downside, but in my honest opinion, that doesn't mean you cannot drop some really high kill games with this. So yeah, anyways, last thing to mention is, I don't know if you noticed in I'll bring up the photo again, the barrels on this gun are super small. It's like a bug. They're like really, really tiny, which is really, really funny. Like the basic and the heavy look like really small on this, which I think is just very funny. But anyways, yeah, that's the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I normally do a live commentary with my review videos, but I've already done one for this gun, and I didn't want to do it on this, and you know, give it that 30 minutes that I know a lot of people, it scares away a lot of viewers from watching. They don't want to watch a 30-minute video because they don't know that half of it's a live commentary. But anyways, I hope this is informative, and yeah, and I hope you guys enjoy the weapon. It's really, really fun, and get out there and use it. Thanks for watching.